This is the Ajazz AK820 Pro, a budget 75% wireless keyboard with a metal volume knob and a screen. And you might go, that's not that special, other keyboards have that too. But this keyboard is way cheaper than all the other keyboards that have these features, and it makes keyboards way more expensive look worthless, honestly. And this keyboard is, yes, all that. So this and the Ola F75 are usually seen as the budget kings, and I'm going to compare this with the Ola F75, and I'll tell you the prices afterwards. And this isn't just good for beginners, right? Because of this screen and this volume wheel, it makes it really, really good for experienced people who want to mod, right? You get 3 and 5 pin hot swappable switches. You can see that these are the switches that originally came with it, and I swapped it out with these green switches up here. So you can swap them out, and for something that doesn't have all these frills, then it's boring, right? You're just going to be left with a boring keyboard. But I'm able to swap out my stuff and still have these really, really cool features that you can never add on to another keyboard. So stick around and I'll explain to you why this keyboard is so great and why you should pick one up for yourself. So let's first get an overview of this keyboard, right? This is 75% layout. So that means that you get your alpha keys, here, your QWERTY, whatnot. You get some typing keys, your shift, whatnot. You have your escape, F keys, delete key, home, page up, page down, hit caps lock. You have your arrow keys and you have volume wheel. And the other feature about this that is pretty big is this screen, right? This is a 0.85 inch screen, and honestly, there's nothing that special about it. It's just a screen, but if you love screens on your keyboard, this is a perfect option, just right off of the bat. So you get multiple connection modes. Obviously, this is on right now, and this isn't connected to anything, wire-wise. It's all wireless. So you got your Bluetooth 2.4 gigahertz and USB. And yes, it does come with a 2.4 gigahertz dongle. It just says Ajazz on it. And this is a very default one. Honestly, most devices come with this exact same dongle, but whatever, right? It's the Ajazz one. So nice volume wheel, one of the best that I've seen. It has USB-C port on the top, which is slightly misaligned, which is fine, I guess. Side, nothing. Bottom, Ajazz logo, really clean. I actually love it being there. It being blank would have been cool, but this is actually pretty fun. Have a look at the back, right? So you have your feet right here. They're adjustable. I'll talk about them later. You have 4 pads, 1, 2, 3, 4. You have your USB slot. So this is for the 2.4 gigahertz dongle. Here it is again. And it's just magnetic. So you can just slide it in like that and just easy. And it comes out very easily and goes in really easily. This is one of the best ways I've seen to hold it. For example, something like this is actually quite bad because you have to fish it out and it doesn't have magnets, right? Whereas this guy uses proper magnet system and it doesn't just use like the strength of plastic to hold it in, right? Then you have the back, remember, feet. So that's your small foot, that's your big foot. Boom, boom. Small foot like that, big foot like that. So that changes your typing angle and you can do pretty much anything you want with that. You have your switches. This is a BT USB 2.4. So again, the switches between Bluetooth, USB, and 2.4 gigahertz. This up here is Windows and Mac slider, and it basically changes what these buttons do. These ones right here. These 3 and then these 3. So it's great to be able to change all of this. It's awesome. And pretty simple setup. They come with these Ajazz gift switches or Ajazz Flying Fish switches. They're slightly different. The Flying Fish are also linear, so they're both linear. Flying Fish is dustproof. Dustproof meaning you have this little cap around it, just like that. But this is what they look like, the Ajazz ones, and they're very simple, they're cute, and they're kind of loud. It's kind of hard to hear without a keycap, so let's toss a little keycap on just to test it. Now here's a sound test. Quite loud. So this is all 3 or 5 pin hot swappable. You can tell these are, like that. And if you look at this, I actually swapped them out with these green guys. These are, I think, either silent lines or silent lemon things, and it makes your keyboard silent. Still sounds loud, but if you want to hear it with just normal switches, let's go to some sound tests. So I have all these keyboards and let's do some sound tests. So first are these guys. These are the green little like simple switches, and they are all right. They're not awesome, but they're okay. And I put them in this guy. And here's a sound test. These are made to be silent, so you probably can't hear much of anything. So what this guy shipped with, though, are these guys, the Ajazz gift switches. And I have a whole bunch of them, but I didn't really care to put it back in. So I just put a keycap on one, and you can hear how it sounds. So very snappy, a bit thocky. Let's now have a look at this guy. So this is the EpoMaker RT99, I think. And it sounds very thocky, like this. This has the jade switches. Okay, pushing that to the side, you get these guys. This is my Red Dragon K530 Pro, ships with their blue switches, and this is some red switches in the shift keys. So red switches sound like this. These are linear and silent. I mean, they still make sound. They aren't silent by any means, but they're quieter. And then this guy are the blue switches. Very irritating, would not recommend. This is the TechWare Phantom Plus Elite with their brown switches. These are brown tactiles. See them right here. They look like that. Checking the escape key back on. So yeah, that's all 4 keyboards and how they sound, and with their different switches that are applied. So, you get all this for a really good price. But again, let's first talk about the Ola F75. So the Ola F75 comes in at $80. For $80, you lose this screen, you get a much worse volume wheel, it is just metal on the outside and mostly all plastic. Your USB port breaks much faster, reportedly. You still get those wireless options, it's still 75%. And you do get some more color options, but that's about it. So nothing special at all. And it's $80. So you lose all of the special stuff, and it's $80. This guy gets you so much more special stuff, right? You get the screen, you get a nice volume wheel, and your USB port doesn't break. And honestly, this color option is way better than what the Ola S75 can offer. And if this isn't your vibe, you can get a totally different color option. There's a black and yellow one. Less color options, but honestly, whatever. Right? And this comes in at $70, so $10 cheaper. This might not seem like a lot, but that's 14%. 14% is pretty big. So let's go over what comes in the box with it. So right off the bat, this is the box. Pretty simple, pretty sleek, nothing special. It's a box, right? And there's nothing special inside of it either, but this box just outlines it as a collab between EpoMaker and Ajazz. Sides literally say the same. And then inside you get this guy. It's a little key cap and key switch puller. It's nice. Good one to use. You get this little protective cover. So it's actually quite simple, quite nice. I like it. And in the box you also get this USB-C cable. This USB-C cable is nothing special. It's just a regular USB-C cable with a little ferrite bead, I think it's called, right there. So I don't use this guy personally. I've swapped it out, but if you want to use it, feel free. Right? So this keyboard might not be the best option, right? If you don't want a 75% keyboard, I understand, right? You probably have your own use cases. But for a 75% keyboard, or just any keyboard in general, you can totally pick this up. This is awesome. So there's more than just one reason why I want to recommend this. So it's cheap, it's good to use, and it has frills, right? The idea of frills is, this extra stuff that you really don't need. The screen, nice volume wheel, etc. And you might go, oh, that's not that important. But let me ask you, if you're, into collecting keyboards and you want a keyboard with a screen, then you totally pick up this guy. If you want to mod keyboards, why do you pick up the Ola F75? Because there isn't really much of a reason. You can swap out the key switches, you can swap out the keycaps, that's it. With this guy, you get a perfect volume wheel that is awesome, and then you get a screen that is awesome. This whole setup is really, really simple. And then you can switch out the key switches. As you see, I switched out all of them. You can switch out the key switches and the keycaps, but you keep these cool frills that you can never add on to your other Ola F75, for example. So this is great for beginners who want just a fun little keyboard with a screen and volume knob, but it's also great for intermediate people who want to just mod their keyboard out, as this gives you many more cool frills. So this keyboard is so nice and it has so many cool features, right? And I love it. And if you want to pick it up, you totally can. Just a little link in my description if you want to pick it up. And honestly, there's like no issues with it. The only annoying thing is this caps lock key is a bit bright, but like look at that. It does surround those four, but it's not that big of a. If you want to pick up this keyboard, check the link in the description below. Thanks so much.